Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/teamaneke. We're living in uncertain times. If there is one thing we can be thankful for, that is the recent pet adoption boom. Shelters are being cleared out, and that means you may not know much about your new best friend. Alaska Dogworks virtual and on-site classes are the best way for you to build a lasting bond and learn about your pup, new or old. From setting up a proper routine to learning the commands and much more, Alaska Dogworks provides you with the resources to develop your dog into one of the best. Right now, Alaska Dogworks has an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Go to alaskadogworks.com now and use promo code DOGWORKS and save 20% off your training program at the time of your booking. Visit alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS to save 20% today. That's alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS at the time of booking.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by First Paw Coffee Company, specializing in private label premium blend coffee. If you're serious about coffee, you should check it out. First Paw Coffee's passion is high-quality, small-batch roasted coffee. They take the extra time to taste and get everything perfect before they release new blends. They aim to bring you a cup of happiness each time you pour yourself some coffee. Find out more at ak.dog/free and enter for a chance to win some First Paw Coffee prizes, a book from our collection, and tote bag. One winner will be selected at random each month. That's ak.dog/free.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company, this is the Dog Driver Show. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert Forto and Parto.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert and I'm here with my co-host KP and we are the Dog Driver Show and we're starting up a brand new family series today. We've done these a couple of times in the past and I'm looking forward to this one. Family calling in from Norway. Who do we have, KP?
We have Robert today. We talk about sled dog legacies and dynasties. These guys are a Norwegian dynasty of sprint racing out of Hamar. We have Kjetil Hillestad with us, open driver, calling us from Norway. He has tremendous amount of experience in racing open class, mid distance, and some limited class also. Kjetil has been involved in the sport and also as a club organizer for years, and I'm super excited talking to him. Kjetil, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Kjetil, why don't you give us a little bit of background, how you started in the sport, how long ago, and what are you about?
Yeah, I started in was 12 years and doing this sport in 50 years. So I know it from the beginning. I was in the mountain with my dogs, my Siberian dogs. So we would be with the sport from the start in Norway. So the Siberian Husky Club was started in '72, and I was from the beginning. So after that, the sport I've been the breeding from Siberian to Alaskan Huskies and the Norwegian Hound. So I've been from the start on this breeding. Yeah.
So Siberian Huskies, it's very interesting because a lot of open drivers and a lot of sprint drivers, people who've been in this sport for a long time, they started, it seems like all of us, we started with Siberian Huskies back then. You mentioned that you have, and I know that you have your own bloodline that you created with the Norwegian Hound. Tell us a little bit about what the Scandinavian or Norwegian Hound is.
Yeah, it started in the late 80s in Norway. We get used the best Siberian and the best Alaskan. So I imported three husky dog Alaskans from Alaska, and breed the best one with the German short-haired pointer. We get in the Norway, we have the Nordic style, and we selected Nordic style dogs from early started in 1950. So this breed, this selection of good sled dogs, we started very very early. Because of that, the Norwegian German shorter pointer was very very selected for dog mushing. So we used the best dog into the best dog from Alaska and then we get even better dogs. So it was very successful because there was more power dogs and now they're all over the world.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with you. You see a tremendous amount of influx of Scandinavian, what we call Eurohounds or hounds in Alaska, in North America, in Canada, tremendously. And I completely agree with you. Kjetil, when you were breeding your dogs, what trait were you looking for? What are you looking for to produce?
Now, of course, it should be a good runner. It's you see at once how they will manage to go the race. Some dogs, that's very important. So in not using much time, only of good runners. And of course, behavior is very important. So I like to go with the dog free, always free. No. And relaxed dogs we used to have in the team. So my team is quite not noisy. So that's important.
When you say your team is not noisy, you mean that when you start in the shoot, your dogs are quiet and calm? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. They are, yes. And when they start going, they are very fast in the start. So we have a lot of mass start the last years, and they always take the start because they are standing quite. They are standing, just waiting for the signal
to start. Very interesting, very interesting. This is something that we don't practice that much in Alaska. I know that my dog team, they get crazy in the shoot, but it may be a good technique to keep them calm and keep their energy under control. I can imagine. Kjetil, how many dogs do you have in your kennel that you're training right now?
Yeah, I like to have, earlier we have a lot of dogs, but the last 5-6 years I like to go with only 12 or 14. Just now I have 14 dogs. And I like to go small team in training and train 2 6-dog team or 7 of course. So then they learn to pull and behave. And I get a lot of more out of this training. And earlier we go, I have 40 dogs in training, and that was too much, of course. So I like to go small dogs and a small team and good control. And then we have a good relationship because of this relaxing training together. So I can stop and put my dog free and relaxing with my dog. So that's very important. But of course, I learn them to go when I ask them, but not much. I'll just go out relaxing training and then I can use the commando when I go race. It's okay.
And Kjetil, for the training for the open class or mid-distance races like Norway Trail, how do you prepare your dog team for that?
Yeah, I started in learn to. Yeah, I have an idea to train my dogs longer than the race and slower. So I go early. It was 20 kilometers when we, and then I train 40 kilometers and in all kind of speed. So it in the mountain with the 16 dogs. They do every speed. So, but I always learn them to go when I ask for it, 100 meter or longer, and then relaxing again. So I learn a response. I think that's important. And I always go the last kilometers on training. Always have fun, go fast. So, but not from the beginning. I'm relaxing with my dogs.
This is very interesting because Robert, I don't know if you remember or not, when we talked to the Streeper family, who are master of open class, they were doing the same techniques, using their dogs as a pace and finishing stronger or as strong as they started. Tell us about some of the races that you do. You said mass start in the open class, and I know that you do Norway Trail. Tell our listeners what those races are about.
Norway Trail is 250 kilometers in six laps, so around 40 kilometers each day. And the last day it was mass start up hills in what we call it, the Alpine Trail.
Mm-hmm.
So very very steep uphills, and 40 team on the starting line. Not everyone inside, but the fastest one in the first row. So yeah, I guess they get very what should I say, very fast in the starting, as I told you.
Kjetil, when you talk about some of the races, like you talk about, like Norway Trail and Healy Trail, I noticed that the open class dogs in Europe are becoming bigger than the dogs that we use in Alaska. Are you also looking to produce dogs who are a little bit bigger in size and more muscles on them than the one that we use in Alaska?
I'm not sure because I've never been in Alaska, but it's very difficult. But it's very very difficult to. I think my dog is not so big. I don't know. Yeah, but they are powered. They are very very good uphill puller. So, but I also I'm very fast when I ask for that. So they are very all round dogs.
Very good. Kjetil, as I'm going to change the subject, and I know that you are very, very heavily involved with the Hammer Sled Dog Club, and I know that you are the trail boss. So tell us about grooming the trails and preparing the trails. That's something I do for Chugiak dog mushers. So tell us what you do.
A lot of work. Yes, we moved to this place in 2008, and I understand that I have to, if I get good trails, I have to make them myself, because it's I started early to really work with the trails, because that's the trails is the most important in a sled dog sport. So I use a normal scooter and earlier 4-wheel with belts, ITV you call it, and a lot of work. So some days I were out 14 hours. And the next day it's snowing again and out again. So in 12 years now, I make the trails, I think, 99% of the trails making. So a lot of, I understand that it's quite different from Alaska, the snow and and the condition is much more heavier here in Norway. It's snowing and blowing a lot and coming, so it's always very hard with scooter, and you have a lot of digging the snow, I think. But how I tell you, to make the trails, a lot of grooming, a lot of, yeah. Sometimes I go 3 rounds in 45 kilometers. So I use the whole day.
Yeah.
But now we the last year we get a piston pulley machine, yes, groomer.
A big groomer. How
So
many?
that's very,
Kjetil, how many miles do you groom? How long is your trail?
it's 45 kilometers round, all kind of direction or distance, all kind of distance up to 45 kilometers. And then we have long distance trails to going very long. So we go only with the scooter, but yeah, there's a lot of trails, and everyone wants wide trails to go skiing to,
Oh
skating.
yes.
So I have to really work to satisfy all the people.
People.
So, but I like to do that, and I'm sometimes very what do you call it? It's more important for me to make trails and for everyone else to be happy, or train my own dogs. So my concurrent is training in the trails, and I am making the trails the whole day. And sometimes I will train in the night my dog, and sometimes not, because I use a lot of time. So I'm very surprised that it's more important to me that people are happy.
No,
And also the leader in the club. So the economy is very important to make trails to get the money to the club. And yeah, you understand.
No, I completely understand. I do the same thing for Chugiak dog mushers. We have around 40 kilometers of the trail system that we maintain. Also, of course, we have less snow that you get in Norway. We get around, probably a couple feet, maybe 60 centimeters in the whole year or so that we maintain. But I know I completely understand you spending hours and hours at night shoveling, pushing, getting stuck. I saw some of your pictures getting stuck. So I have the same thing here. So for people who are not familiar with the Hammer track, the sled dog track, tell us a little bit about how it is set up. I've seen some pictures. Is it hilly? Is it in the trees? Is it in the tundra? How's the trail system?
No, it's the sprint trails is really flat, but it's a lot of corners, and that is nearly flat. But it's not. I think it's you can't go. Earlier we go with 20 dogs, but we like to go 12 dogs. Maybe nowadays we like to not go to so big team. Maybe because we have stronger dogs or something. I don't know. But I like to go 10 dogs. I like to go in open class. So last year I go only 8 dogs in all the best musher from Europe. Was there, and I have the best time with 8 dogs in open. So it's not what shall I say? And then some of the part of the trail is hilly. So the middle distance trail is hilly, so you can get the both time system.
That is very interesting. Kjetil, tell me about your objectives that you want in the future. What are your plans for next year?
My plan for next year is first I'm train more training my own dogs and some other training, making the trails. That's the plan. It's a very good plan. Now it's with the new piston bull. It's easier to get others to make the trails. Earlier, it's very difficult to make trails with 2 meters wide trails with the scooter. It's a lot of you have to be creative. What you call it in English. So that's the plan to make more together with my dogs, because so many years I've been in the top level, but always not the dog is not the first prize. The trails and the club is the first prize. So I'm so old now. I want to go to work a little more with my dogs.
Kjetil, Robert here. I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is, you talked about just how much snow you guys get up in Norway, and KP was talking about how little snow we get here in South Central Alaska. How have you guys seen climate change the sport of mushing up in your area of the world?
I don't understand your question. What?
So have you seen global warming be a factor in how much snow that you guys get? Is it winter coming later?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. Very good. So my next question is, you've been involved with the sport for 50 years, so a long time. What have you seen change? What are some big changes in those 50 years?
Yeah.
You talked about the different breeds of dogs and all that.
Well, about the weather, I see the big lakes. Earlier we can make trails on the lakes, but that's it's more difficult. So that's my feeling. It was it's come from the what you call it, from the earth under the sea,
right?
From the ground, because I see upcome with the open ice someplace, and it's very strange. So I feel it was from the ground.
Okay,
that's the difference, because I'm wondering a lot of.
What about the changes in the sport itself? You talked about the different dogs over the last 50 years or so. Yeah. What other big changes have you seen in the time that you've been involved with the sport?
In Europe, I feel good control and good kennel work, and not so many dogs. Earlier we have a lot of dogs and breeding a lot of litters, and now the last years I have 1 litter every second year. I'm selling no puppies. I have keeping everything, but because I like to, as I told you earlier, to not have so many dogs, and
right.
Then it's much more funny or easier. And then you get a better, better
quality.
Know new dogs better.
Right.
Yeah, quality, and because that's the short.
Very good. KP, what else do you have for Kjetil today?
Kjetil, I wanted to thank you for spending the last 20 minutes with us. I learned a lot about what you do and about how you organize your club, how you organize your dog team, your open class team. I'm really looking forward to see you actually and race you. Kjetil is one of the very few people actually in Europe that I probably didn't race or don't know personally. Of course, we follow each other on Facebook and social media, but I would really like to see his dogs. I've known his results for many, many years, and I know that he's extremely competitive, and he has a beautiful, beautiful bloodline behind his dog team. Looking forward to see you in Alaska one day or somewhere close. And again, thank you for spending the time with us. And if you want to thank any of your sponsors, people who support you, it's time now.
Yeah, I have no sponsors because I don't like. But I have my wife, of course.
Very good, very good.
And my son and daughter. So we are a good team together.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. On behalf of my co-host, KP, this is Robert for the Dog Driver Show. Be sure to check us out over on dogworksradio.com, and you can search all of our episodes. We've talked to just about everybody in the dog driving world and the sprint world, and you could probably find an interview by typing their name in the search bar. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
From First Paw Media, this is the Dog Driver Show. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you can see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert Forto and Kourosh Parto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.